Okay. So see here, this is the class noting we are just preparing. Coming to today we are going to discuss few concepts. One is Tosca workspace creation, like how to create a project in Tosca once it is done, and understanding of module section. So in the module section, what are the standard modules we have and how to create a module in, let me do recording. It's already recording. Okay. So understanding of the module creation and which technologies the tri-scientist team is implemented in the backend to build this module section, test case section, all these sections. Okay. After completion of that, I'll tell you how to do the installation process. Installation of Tosca Commander. Initially, I'll start a trainings with Tosca Commander only team. Initially, we'll start with Tosca Commander only. So the later on, we can choose Tosca Cloud. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to discuss Tosca Cloud also here in detail. But here the point is initially I'll start trainings in a Tosca Commander. Later on, I'll introduce Tosca Cloud. Okay. So these three concepts are today's points, team. Today we are going to discuss these 3 points. One is how to create a project in Tosca Commander. Another one is understanding of the module section and installation and document installation of Tosca Commander. Okay, I'm just opening Tosca Commander here. Open this commander. Okay. So here team, I'm just opening this Tosca Commander. At the time of opening this commander, so it always cross check the license. Once the license is identified, then only it navigates to the main page. Okay. So to activate the license, by default it navigate to the license page team. So you no need to worry, here you can see license option. It go directly here, and here it asks us to activate the license. Okay. Once license activation is completed, the next step is here. We have to create a project. So what are the projects you are seeing under this recent? Okay. These all are my previous projects which I created. Okay. But to practice purpose, once you're done with the installation, you have to create a project. How to create a project? To create a project, use this create a new option. Use create a new option. So click on this particular create new. In Tosca 2025 version. So right now I'm using a Tosca latest version. Latest version of Tosca, that is 2025.1. In the market, we do have a 16 version, 2023 version, 2024 also, but the latest version is 2025.1. This is the latest version. So if you want to check it, so we can directly go to our Tricentis support website and we do cross check there. Okay. Now, coming back to here, this is the project creation, or we can say workspace creation. So, we are creating a workspace to the entire team members. Okay. In real time, in real time, so who do this activity? In real time, who is the responsible person to set up this new workspace? In real time team, these projects it's may be created by a client end. if you are working as a one of the service based company, they probably create this particular project in client side. Once the project is created, they give authorizations to team members. That means authentication. So we don't have directly authentication to the project. They probably create a credentials for us and share it to them. Okay. So that means authentication is required here. Once the project creation is done, so they may collect all of our team members' mail IDs or employee IDs, and they give access to the project. This is what they do in real time. If project is created, if project is created at client end, so what actions we have to do in our side? Even the project is created team, yes, you have to create a new workspace, create new workspace with the existing repository. Even if project is already created, if you are trying to join that project, then use existing repository. What is these options? I'll discuss those options today, team. Okay. Now coming back to here, let me delete all these things. So let me repeat. So right now we are creating a new workspace. Right now I'm just showing how to create the project. But in real time, who are the responsible persons to create a workspace for team members? So some of the projects, this is completely taken care by project team only. Team. That is the reason I mentioned here as a client. If their client is given access to us to maintain this project related stuff, everything, then our company point of view will maintain this entire project related information like creation of the project, all administrator activities. Okay. Now, so in Tosca, to create a project, we have two subcategories. One is common user repository and another one is workspace. Common user repository and another one is workspace. Let us talk about one by one. Common user repository team. Initially, Tosca is giving a platform to create a single user workspace, or you can see single user repository workspace. What is mean by single user team? Only one person able to work on this particular project. If only one person is working on this project, is that recommended team to go with a single user in real time?
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, the single user repository is recommended in real time?
No.
No.
Not recommended. So
Yeah.
the single user repository is not recommended. So in real time, how many people may work on the project? More than
One.
one or two people. So more than one or two people they work on real time project. Okay now. So the point is here, it is a completely a single user workspace and even this is not recommended in real time. Okay. So then what purpose we use single user? So single user is a one-to-one activities team. If you want to do some practice on Tosca, you may go with single user repository. But I won't suggest to do a practical sessions on single user. Okay na? The next one is here. Common user repository or common user workspace. Common user workspace is nothing but more than people, more than one person, like two or three people or five people. So who are allocated to Tosca project, they may use a common user repositories in real time. Common user workspace. This one is nothing but this is applicable for multiple users. So the multiple users work on this particular workspace simultaneously. So compared to the type of repository, the always recommended repository is a common user repository. Okay. So to create this common user repository in real time, which options we use? Okay. So Tosca itself, they are providing some database options to create a common user repositories. To create a common user, we have one database option, DB option. Okay, now. So we use this DB option to create a database, a common user repository. So one database is SQLite, another one is MS SQL Server, DB2, and Oracle. So see here, Tim, based on their particular company specific or project specific, they may use either MS SQL Server, DB2, or Oracle. Getting? They may use in real time DB2 or Oracle or MS SQL Server. Then what about these options, Tim? Guys, what about these options? Are you getting my point? Here, totally how many type of repositories we can see?
Four.
Four type of repositories we can see. One is single user, another one is the common user repository. So within this common user, what type of options we are using to create a project? What options we are using, team? Tell me. We just use here a database option. That is what I mentioned here. You can see to create a project, we have two approaches. One is single user, another one is common user. Okay, now single user and a common user. So this is what we are discussing right now, the project creation. The project creation level, we have two subcategories. One is single user repository, another one is common user repository. Here I highlighted only three options. One is MS SQL Server and DB2 and Oracle. What about this particular SQLite repository, team? I'll give you background of it. Okay. So here SQLite repository, it is a common user repository. That means a replica of MS SQL Server and DB2 only. But here the purpose of this particular SQLite repository we use to do a practical sessions. You may say like practical sessions or training purpose. Okay. So as per training point of view, I'm just giving this information to you. So we may use for practical sessions or training purpose. But in real time, what purpose we use this particular repository? We use this repository to do a POC, proof of concept. What is POC, team? POC, it is a kind of demo. It is a kind of end-to-end, end-to-end test execution or test case development execution demo. So we are just giving we just do a development of one end-to-end test case and before project approval. So we just do these activities before project approval. So the client is asking, I just want to implement Tosca in my project. So then we'll take that as a challenge. Who are working as a POC, they just pick one end-to-end scenario and they build a test case. Once the test case development is completed, directly we give a demo back to the client team. So this is what we do in real time. The purpose of this SQLite usage in real time, one thing, training purpose we can use here practical sessions. But here in real time we use for POC, point of concept. We just prepare one end-to-end test case development, and we just show this test case execution to the client. So once the client is satisfied with the tool, we get the project. Understand? That is the reason I'm not highlighted this SQLite right now. Okay. So we do have two more databases. What is that? SQL Server, DB2, and Oracle. SQL Server, DB2, and Oracle. So what is the purpose of these databases team? In real time, in real time, so the clients in real time, clients always use these DB options, always use these DB options to create a project. Understand? In real time, what options they use in real time team? Three options. Three means any one of these, not everything. Okay. Either they go with MS SQL Server or DB2 or Oracle database. Okay, that is the reason I mentioned here. The most of the projects they may choose MS SQL Server or DB2 or Oracle. Okay. So right now, if you want to create a project with MS SQL Server or DB2 Oracle, must be required a database installation in our system. Must DB installation is required. Okay. So here what we do, instead of working with these databases, we can choose SQLite. So these are also common repositories that even SQLite is also common repository, correct? Team getting? SQLite is also common repository and these are also common repositories. Team. Okay. So right now for training purpose and learning purpose, we use what type of database here? SQLite database only. What is the database type? SQLite.
Right.
Just go to Tosca Commander. Here, select type of repository. Click on this, choose SQLite. Okay. So, Tim, before jumping to our next point, is anyone having a idea on why this repository is required or any kind of Selenium knowledge before going to point? Any Selenium knowledge, Tim?
No,
Or any programming languages knowledge? No, no.
no,
Okay.
Anusha.
So here I just want to highlight why repository. You can directly create the project, right? Why repository is required? See, basically what happens in real time, I'll tell you that stuff. Why we are choosing this common repository? Why repository is required to create a project? In Tosca, it is a required team, but other automation tools, it is not required. Okay. So I'll just give you here the background of Selenium. Background of Selenium. Okay. So if you are working as a Selenium, so do we require any coding in Selenium team? Yes, we required a coding language to build the test cases, either Java or Python. So basically, what happens in Selenium, each and every person, they work on the respective test cases. Let us assume team here, person 1 is working. He completed 10 test cases. Person 2 is also working 10 test cases and person 3 is also completed 10 test cases. Now tell me entire team how many test cases are completed?
30.
Total test cases are completed 30. Okay. As a team lead, I want to check these 30 test cases at a time. Is it possible? Think practically. These 10 test cases are there in person one laptop, correct? It's locally they have these 10 test cases. Even person 2 test cases are there in person 2 laptop. Okay, person 3 laptop. So if I want to check these 30 test cases, so how to check these 30 test cases together? I don't want to check individuality. I want to check these 30 test cases together. How to do that? Are you getting my point? Basically,
Repository.
exactly. Basically, if they are using any ID, for example, if they are using Visual Studio to develop the test cases, let me show you one of test cases. See here, Tim, this is my playwright related info. So to develop one particular scenario, are you guys able to see how much code they are writing here? This is only Amazon search functionality, not more than that. I think it's a demo web shop only. Okay. So they're just writing this much of code. So this entire code is there in my local system only because I just opened Visual Studio application. Here itself this code is there. If I want to keep this code in the repositories, because as a team lead, I don't want to go each person to check the things manually, right? So if I want to check something, I'll check myself itself only instead of connecting with others. So to do that in real time, we have such a kind of repository categories in real time. What type of repositories? Are you guys heard about GitHub?
No,
Probably.
sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So GitHub is one of the common
Repository.
repository. So another one is Bitbuckets. Like this, we have a number of common repositories. Okay. Based on their project specification, they may use any one of these repositories, either GitHub or Bitbuckets. Okay. So once this person one code is completed, what this person one do? Directly this person one push this entire code to the repository. At the time of pushing, they use here push command. What is that? Push command.
Push command.
So here, basically, what are the commands we do implement in a command prompt? If I go to CMD, if I want to create one folder, I may interact with application using some commands only, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
I just use some commands to interact to my so and so directory to create a project or something. Some actions we do here. But to interact, always we required a commands here. The similar way, if you want to push your code to a GitHub, I mean these common repositories, we have one command that is a push command. So you may use here GitLab also. We have one application with a name as GitLab. So we just use that GitLab here to write some code to push code to the repository. So even person to also do same thing. They push code to repository. They push code to repository. Okay. So here in this repository, again we have person one related. So here the one inside here team we have one master branch. What is that? We have one master branch. So basically person one push their code back to the person one branch only. Person one branch. So person two branch. Again person three branch. So some people they work on here team to merge these three people test cases into a master branch. Once the merge activity is done, then I can see these 30 test cases together in a repositories. Understand, team?
Yes,
Yes.
Anusha.
So this is what happened in the backend in real time. Not only Selenium developers team, even if people are working in a coding language like developer, backend developer, say the Java developer or Python developer or any kind of C sharp developer, front end developers, they always do these activities only. Okay. So now what Tricentis team is doing, they are just making our work as easier. They're just making our work as easier. If you are working in Tosca, you no need to do such a kind of activities. This entire stuff is not required. Team. Okay, this entire stuff is not required. So simply instead of working locally, we are directly working on the repository. Getting directly we all are working in directly in a repository. We just go to a repository and working here. So because we are creating this entire project using repository only. Understand the importance of this repository team?
Yes, Anusha.
So in real time, you no need to work with GitHub, Bitbucket. Those all third-party repositories are not required. Okay. Tosca itself, we have a default repository categories. So here we are just creating these repositories with the help of databases. What is database? SQLite, Oracle, MS SQL Server, and DB2. You can use any one of these database options to create a project. Understand the common repository importance team?
Yes.
Yes, Anusha.
Okay. So once you understand this point, team, immediately you can see one more option here. What is this option? Use existing repository. So let me repeat this point again. Use existing repository. Now we understand what is the purpose of selecting the repository. The second point is here. Here you guys able to see one option like use existing repository. What is mean by this? So Tim, the starting itself I said 2 points. One thing, for a practice purpose, we use this repository, correct? For practice purpose, what we are doing here, we are just creating a new project. If you are creating new project or new workspace, the terminologies are same. So which repository I use here? I may go with SQLite. So for what purpose? New project creation purpose. If you are doing, let us assume in real time what happens, the project is already created. Just give me 1 minute. So in real time, this project, okay, this project created by client. That means they maintain that entire administrator related information there and only. Okay. In real time, they create a project. The client is the person to create their project. Okay. Once the project is created, we have to give access. We are giving access to the team. They give access to the team. Once the access is completed, as a team member, what I'll do, I'll just create project from my side. How to create project? To create a new member, once the taxes is done, what I'll do, I'll just go to a create new option and then I'll select the repository type. Once I select the repositories type, enable use existing repository. Understand? Here, I am not the person creation of this project. So who are creating this particular project? Client. Guys, are you getting?
Yes, Anusha.
This project is created by client only and even client given access to the team. Once access is done, as per team member, what I'm doing my side, same thing. I'm just going to Tosca, I'm opening and I'm using create new option and I'm selecting type of repository. Once I select it, then enable use existing repository. Make sure this checkbox should enable. So in the above screen, what happens? This checkbox is enabled or disabled?
Enabled.
It's enabled. So if this checkbox is enabled, what is the meaning of that?
It will take existing repository.
That means this project is already created. Okay.
I have one doubt, Anusha.
Yeah.
You are saying that in real time, right? So that time we may use the other DB option, no? Like
Yes,
DB2.
MS SQL Server or any of these. Mm.
Okay.
In real time, you may use these options only, either MS SQL Server or DB2 or Oracle. Any one of these databases. Any one, not all. Okay.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. So nowadays we have these cloud databases also, right? For example, Postgres, DynamoDB, or Snowflake. So in such case, how they choose these databases?
So initially we maintain these things into these databases. Later on we migrate these things to the cloud databases. Otherwise you can directly create your project at cloud database using Tosca server repository. So inbuilt, what I mean to say, inbuilt Tosca is providing these DB options only. If you want any cloud related DB options, they just make it a customized and they'll give access to us.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we just connect to the Tricentis because each and every project they have their own prerequisites, correct? So if they
Okay.
are fulfilling, definitely we choose the Tosca. So if you want to go with any kind of customized cloud database options, yes, we can do that using customization. We just connect back to our Tricentis team while raising a ticket. So once they get back to us, we'll give our prerequisites. Accordingly, they suggest you the respective approaches to us. Okay.
Got it, ma'am. Ma'am, another small question. These repositories, whenever we create, assume that we three or four members are working and going to store our the work and everything. So that would be stored in on-prem or in the cloud, ma'am, these repositories?
The entire information stored into these databases.
Okay, wherever they reside. Hmm.
So
Okay.
which DB options you use, it
Okay,
will
okay.
choose that particular DB option to store the entire data.
So if it is on-prem, in on-prem, otherwise it will go to the cloud
Yeah, exactly. So
only.
right now, as I said, this Tosca Commander is a on-premises application, correct?
Correct. So far, yes.
So far it is a on-premises, but when you come across the Tosca Cloud, that time you can see the cloud actions. Okay.
Hmm.
Anyway, that is also included as part of this training, right?
Okay, understood,
So
ma'am.
the
Thank
cloud also I'll introduce later. Hmm?
you. Understood. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So team, everyone clear up to here? So can I take it no questions? Okay, thank you so much. So see here, this checkbox is by default selected. Okay, if this checkbox is selected, the meaning of that it is already existing repository. What I do right now, I'll just uncheck this one. If I uncheck this checkbox, what is the meaning of that team? If you uncheck this checkbox, what is the meaning of this? Create
New one.
new workspace. So you are just creating the new workspace. If this checkbox is selected, what is the meaning of that? Create new
Existing.
existing workspace. There is no much difference here. If this checkbox is selected, that means still you are creating new existing. But if not selected, create a new workspace. Right now, I'm not selecting this one team because I just want to create a new workspace here. Okay, now. So that's it for this common repository section. So hope everyone clear any questions right now here in the common repository section? Two things, just two things only I discussed. One is selecting of the type of repository, this particular feature only. Clear team?
Okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, so in GitLab, GitHub, and all, so we can see our own code, right? Like our branches and everything is available for the individual members. Likewise, can we see our work also in these repositories?
Yes, you can see it.
Individuals work.
So here one more point, Anthony. Okay. So this repository we are creating with the help of databases. Okay. Okay. In real time, we don't have access to check these databases directly.
Yes.
So if it is a GitHub, directly you have access, you go to a GitHub and you will just open your respective branch and you'll work on that. Okay.
Yes.
In Tosca, these all are the repositories. That means these databases are maintained by database team. Okay.
Yes.
Even these are maintained by client. Directly, we don't have authorizations to check the information inside the database. Understand?
Yes.
But if you want to check the entire team members, yes, you can see within Tosca commander itself because it is a common
Oh,
reserve.
okay.
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 If you want to see others information or your recent information, you can see commander itself. You no need to go back to the repositories here.
Okay. As a
Okay.
team lead, as a Tosca team lead, if you want to see our, for example, we are all your team members. If you want to see what we did, so then you can go to the commander and you will check it, right, ma'am? That's what you said.
Exactly. I'll
Okay.
just open the Tosca commander. I'll check what are the scripts are done by the team members and how many are in progress, how many are completed.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So see here, Tim, this is a common repository information. The next step is here. So here you have to do one more thing. Just enter the name of the repository. Enter the name of the repository. Repository name is nothing but Tim. It is a kind of your project name. Okay. So here I'm just entering my project name is Tosca 7 AM. I just mentioned Tosca 7 AM. So once you enter the common repository name, it automatically select the type of your workspace name as well. You can check this Tosca repository name and workspace name, both are same. Correct? Mm. So once you enter these details, Tim, the next point is here. You can see one more option, use workspace template. Use workspace template. Are you remember at the time of explaining an example in our Saturday session? Okay, I just drag and drop some predefined modules like open URL, close browser. Sorry guys, remember?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Default predefined standard models. See, this is a part of project creation. If you enable this particular checkbox, by default it will add a standard module TSU file. Okay, this is a project creation itself only. So if you are creating a new project, then only you are able to see this option. Okay. If I am creating existing, how to create existing? Just enable this checkbox. If I enable this checkbox, are you able to see the workspace template is disabled or enabled?
Disable.
Disable. Okay. So enable. So this always the checkbox, it always allow us to add into at the time of project creation only. At the time of project creation only, we just add this particular option. Once you're done with this team, just click on next. In Tosca 2025 version, these user credentials are mandatory. Okay, just set up the user credentials. So see here team, it is creating new workspace and new common workspace. Initially, I am the person creating this particular workspace. That means I'm acting as a admin. So here are you guys able to see it is asking me to log into the project. In common user repository, it is a mandatory thing. In common user repository, it is a mandatory thing. Must you have to log into the project. If five persons are working in Tosca, so they directly open the Tosca. They have to enter their respective credentials here. Once they're at the time of project login. This successful login is mandatory for each and every multi-user environments or multi-user projects. Okay, team clear?
Ma'am, can you please come back again? The multi-user one, the one we,
Created.
the
So
one
the
we
project which we created right now, it is a SQLite,
mul-
right?
correct multi-user.
This
Yes,
SQLite is a multi-user
correct,
environment. This is not
correct.
a single user. If it
Yes.
is multi-user, must we have to enter the credentials.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
As a
Understood.
member, you have to enter your respective credentials to log into the project.
Correct. Okay.
Okay. So click on this particular login application. Once you click on this login application team, directly it load the entire modular structure. If you go to home tab, click on this project icon. Are you guys able to see? Let's make it as a separate window. Now everyone able to see? The entire modular structure is created. So, like Selenium, you no need to create test ng frameworks as a frame in other programming in UFT. Some of these automation tools we use to set up the framework before working. Okay, but in Tricentis Tosca, you no need to set up the framework. By default, it will retrieve a modular framework here. Are you everyone able to see the number of sections here? It is added automatically. I'm not added manually. Everyone able to see?
Yes.
Okay. So here you can see almost 8 to 9 sections team. 8 to 9 section. But we are using Tosca for which purpose?
Automation.
Only automation testing purpose. So we just choose this Tosca only for automation testing purpose. So how many sections you are seeing here? We can use only few sections under this framework. What are those? One is module section and another one is a test case section, execution section only. These three are the common workflow for any kind of project. Out of 8 to 9, totally how many sections we are using for automation purpose? Totally
Three.
3. So one more section is also there, that is a test case design. This test case design section, it is a kind of data driven framework. The technical term we call it as a data driven framework, but basically what we do, we just maintain the data, test data. If you are testing particular feature, must we have data, right? I hope you all are manual testers. So if you want to test one login functionality, must we required a data, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So either a valid username or invalid username. Somewhat we go with some combinations, right? To prepare that particular data, here we use one particular section that is a test case design section. Clear team? So out of these 8 to 9 section, what are the sections we are using as part of automation? Only
Three.
3,
3 or 4.
4.
This test case design section, it's completely optional team. You may get chance to work on this test case design section or you may not. It depends upon the project to project. Okay, but above mentioned 3 sections are common for all kind of projects. That means you can use these sections for web-based projects, desktop-based projects, SAP projects, or any kind of Pega projects, or mainframes, or APIs, or database. What are the project category? These things are quite common. So we are using this Tosca right now for automation purpose. That is the reason I just highlighted only these 3 sections. Clear?
When we are using this automation, that time any issues will come, we don't use issues one, no?
We don't use
Okay.
because these issues and requirements and test planning this comes under a management activity. Correct?
Mm.
So right now, what are the test management tools we are using in market?
HPLM, Jira,
Jira.
Exactly.
Qtest.
We already committed with these kind of test management tools. HPLM, Jira, or somewhat we can go with Qtest or Azure DevOps. these all are the some of the test management tool already we are using implemented in real time. We have a lot, okay, a lot of test management tools. It vary from project to project categories, okay. So why we are not using here in Tosca also providing one platform here to go with the test management activities. What sections we use? Issues section, requirement section, and test planning. Basically, we can maintain that entire project related requirements, test plans, and issues. All these things we can maintain inside a test management tool only, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, team, if you want to implement Tosca as a management purpose, must be required installation in each and every person's systems, right? For example, if you are using test management tool, who are going to access this entire HPLM Jira team? Who are able to access the project?
Who is
Who are
working on
having,
this?
who are working on this only testers? No.
No.
Developers? Yes.
Yes.
Managers?
Yes. Product owners,
So
stakeholders team.
product owners, clients. So the product owners, probably they all are able to access this kind
Access.
of test management tools. But if they want to maintain these requirements in Tosca, must they have to install Tosca commander their systems, right?
Mm,
Because Tosca is a on-premise, it is a on-premise application right now, correct?
correct.
As a tester, it's mandatory for us because we are automation developers. Must we do installation? What about developer? Is it required to install a developer system, manager systems,
No.
client systems, product owner systems?
Scrum Master.
Mostly we won't use that, right?
Yeah.
That is the reason the most of the projects they are using this predefined test management. I mean, what are the management tools they committed? They're using these things only instead of going to the Tosca. That is the reason I mentioned here we cannot use Tosca as a test management tool. Tosca is only a test automation tool. Clear?
Oh, yes.
Team understand?
Yes.
The
Ma'am,
above, yeah.
sorry to interrupt you. In such case, how that integration is being taken care? Like in Jira, I have my user story or a test case. If I want to execute that in the Tosca, how that integration, how we are doing, the tracking, how we are doing. My test case is there in. I don't know
Mhm.
whether I'm putting it rightly or not. So in Jira, I have my requirement. Okay, user
Okay,
story.
okay.
Okay.
So basically, initially, okay, what are the way we are working in manual? So manually we'll take a requirement or a story into a Jira and we'll work on that, correct? We just create execution evidence document and we'll
Correct.
upload into Jira and then we close the story. That is what we do, right? Even Tosca also same. Okay. Even Tosca also same. What actions we do in Tosca? So Tosca, we just go to a Jira and understand the requirement. So team, in automation purpose, the prerequisite is always a manual test case. I already mentioned this point. Let me bring again. If you want to work any particular test case, that means it's already tested one. Seems it is a manual test case. What are the manual test case? It's already built by manual testers that assigned to automation to do automation of that particular scenario. Okay. So here we'll get a requirement in two approaches. One thing, they directly share the Word document. What are the manual test cases? It's already developed. Instead of Word document, can I say here as a test case template?
Yes.
Basically, we use this terminology, right, in real time.
Yes.
What are the template is created by manual tester? This template is prerequisite to automation. who are working as a automation test engineers, just go to a template, what as the template is assigned to you. This is one way of working. This is one way of working. The another way is here, probably instead of giving entire document to the tester, they may use a test management tool here, create a story. If I create one story, how many test cases can I assign here? Only one test case. It is a kind of tracking, right? If I create one story, I'll assign only one test case to this respective story only. Understanding? One thing, you may get directly a test case template document. The another thing, you may get a story in a Jira board or a project board, we can say. Go to a Jira board and check the story. What are the way you are working in manual? The similar way. If you go to a Jira board. The another way is test case template. Let me show you one sample test case template. I have one of the document, but somewhat it is at confidential, but let me show you. These all are the options, team. Test case. Sorry, Excel, right? Yes, I have an Excel document. So it is a kind of Pega project team.